Hey everybody, Justin Siener here, and welcome to the horizontal scaling video inside of the scaling section of Social Ad Classroom. We just watched and went over the vertical scaling techniques. So those are super important. These go hand in hand with those techniques. So what are we going to cover in this video? We're going to define what horizontal scaling is, and we're going to talk about how it sets up more opportunities to vertically scale. And we're going to go back to that original idea of interest groups. All the way back in that first section of targeting, talked about how important interest groups are, how they're going to carry you through kind of your entire advertising process. Well, they're back. Interest groups, very important here. We're going to talk about website custom audiences, retargeting, and lookalike audiences again. I know we covered that in the last section, but we're going to talk about how they tie into horizontally scaling. And then I'm going to talk about expectations. Again, a lot of mindset things here in the scaling section, and they're all super important. And if you don't take these mindset techniques, it's going to be a lot harder to do your scaling. So let's talk about the definition of horizontal scaling. So first of all, you're going to only think about doing horizontal scaling after you have started your vertical scaling on that successful ad set. So a prerequisite to horizontal scaling is you already have a successful ad set working. You're selling your product or you're making your conversions, whatever it is. Horizontal scaling, defined, is taking that ad set, duplicating the ad set, and simply changing the target audience. So maybe before you were targeting, going all the way back to the nurse niche example, you were targeting associations of nurses. Well, now I'm going to horizontally scale, and I'm going to go to, instead of nurse associations, I'm going to target another one of the interest groups that I had previously identified for my niche. So you're going to still promote the same product, you're going to use the same ad. The only thing that's changing here is that you're going to change the targeting audience. And here's a big thing. You need to restart your budget at $5. I don't care if your other ad set sold 10,000 items and your budget is $1 million a day. I still want you to start this at $5. And we'll talk about why in the expectations section of this video. So that's what horizontal scaling is exactly. Now, we'll talk about opportunity. So vertical scaling is certainly the go-to way to scale for me, but you'll see here how horizontal scaling sets up more opportunities to vertically scale. So what horizontal scaling is duplicating existing ad sets and changing the targeting. So that just gives us more ad sets that we're working with. So with more ad sets, that means we have more ad sets that we're able to scale. So again, we're going to scale vertically first on that first winning campaign. Then we're going to look for more ad sets and scale horizontally into these other ad sets. And then, eventually, we're going to have that opportunity to scale these new horizontally scaled ad sets. So the overall idea of why would we want to horizontally scale, when we have a winning product or a winning campaign, a winning service, whatever it is, we just simply want to show it to as many people as possible within that niche. If you have a shirt that's selling well to people in the nurse association, then it's probably the nurse association interest group. Then it's probably going to sell well to the people in the job title interest group, and in the magazine's interest group, and in the and in the college's interest group. All the different interest groups. Remember that we talked about right in the first section. That's where you're using all of these interest groups now. We're scaling horizontally into all of our different interest groups. So interest groups, yeah, they're your ammunition. Like I said, it goes all the way back to your original interest group research. When a product sells with one interest group, there's a great chance it's going to sell with others in the same niche. So, never skimp on your interest group research. You want to have as many interest groups at your disposal as possible. Interest groups equals ammunition. You just want to have as much ammo as you can to make as much money as you can. So talking about audiences, this is kind of an interesting take on horizontal scaling, but as soon as you make a retargeting ad, you're actually already horizontally scaling. Retargeting and lookalike audiences, website custom audiences, they are all just different ways to target in ad sets. So when you change the targeting from your original winning ad set, you could do that. That process is the same as when you create a retargeting ad. You're advertising your retargeting ad to your retargeting audience. So when you have a winning product, think of it the same way that you're kind of creating your retargeting ads and your website custom audience ads and your lookalike audience ads. It's really the same process. It's just simply another audience that you can target in a completely separate ad set. Last but not least, expectations for horizontal scaling. Your successful ad set that you started with, it means nothing. It guarantees you absolutely nothing. It's going to, apart from whatever it does on its own, it's going to add $0 of value for these new ad sets. You need to treat each ad set individually. I can't tell you how many times I've scaled horizontally, and just really the original ad set worked, and that's okay. You still make a lot of money on that original ad set by scaling vertically, but you need to scale horizontally without letting the other ad sets influence your decision. So, let's say maybe on ad set 1 you're getting a $5 CPA and you're making a lot of money. On ad set 2 you can't seem to get under $25 CPA. Well, they're completely separate. They really mean nothing from that first successful ad set guarantees you anything. So you want to be vigilant in terms of you're not going to just spend money for 10, 20, 30 days on this ad just because the other one is working. Treat everything individually, cut it if it's not working, scale it only based on its own data, and don't let the data of other ad sets influence you. So that's horizontal scaling. You can see now how it ties directly into vertical scaling. The next video we're going to talk about scaling rules. Those will be tied into your vertical scaling techniques. That's going to be super valuable video, so stay tuned. That's next.